Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep into the world of entrepreneurship today, using excerpts from Yashalya by Hosuraimon as our guide.
Yashimonko translates to focus, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's all about, well, focusing on what matters when building a scalable business.
Well, I like it already.
This book is packed with insights on customer development, unit economics, and sales techniques, all from a Russian perspective, which I think will give us some fresh perspectives.
Definitely. It's always interesting to see how different cultures approach business.
So one of the first things that jumped out at me was this idea of delivering real value versus just, hard selling.
Right, pushing a product just for the sake of a sale.
The author actually uses this Russian word vyadai, which
Mm.
kind of perfectly captures that pushy, salesy approach.
Yeah, I've definitely encountered that before, where it's all about closing the deal, regardless of whether the product is actually a good fit.
And the book argues that this Vyake approach, while it might work in the short term, ultimately sets you up for failure.
Makes sense. If a customer feels pressured into buying something they don't need, they're not going to be happy, are they?
Exactly. You end up with low customer retention, you get stuck in these price wars, and your business just stagnates.
So how do you avoid that trap? What does the book suggest?
Well, the book gives us a great example of a company called Magrotech.
What do they do?
They were selling a fertilizer scheme to farmers,
Okay.
but they were so focused on pushing the product that they didn't realize the farmers needed more guidance to use it effectively.
So they had the solution, but they weren't ensuring the customer actually got the value.
Exactly. They were missing that crucial step of, making sure the customer actually benefits from the product.
What happened? Did they
That
figure it out?
They did. They shifted their approach, and instead of just selling the fertilizer, they started offering a paid service that included regular visits from agronomists.
Oh, smart. So the farmers got expert help, saw better results.
And Magritech was making more money because they were providing a valuable service.
Win-win.
Exactly. So it's not just about selling a product, it's about providing a solution.
Ensuring the customer actually gets the value you promised.
Right. Now, to help with that, the author introduces something he calls the value proposition formula.
Sounds pretty official.
It is. It's basically a framework for understanding and articulating your product's value.
So it's like a blueprint for communicating what makes your product awesome.
Yeah, and it all starts with, get this, painting a clear customer portrait.
A portrait, like a painting.
Not literally, but yeah, it's about understanding your ideal customer, their pain points, their needs, and how your product fits into their lives.
That makes sense. You need to know who you're selling to.
Right. And the book makes this point that most entrepreneurs can easily explain the solution their product offers, but they struggle to articulate the customer, their situation, the problem, and the benefit.
It's like they jump ahead to the answer without understanding the question.
Exactly. And he gives this hilarious example of an entrepreneur who was convinced there's a huge market for a service combining news, food delivery, and dating.
News, food, and dating. That's a strange combination.
I know, right? But he had the solution all figured out, but he never stopped to ask if anyone actually wanted that.
Oh, so he skipped the crucial step of understanding a real customer need.
Exactly. And it reminds me of how, the introduction of VAT in Dubai suddenly created a need for accounting software that could handle this new tax.
Right, so external factors can create opportunities, but only if your solution actually solves a real problem.
Exactly. And that's where the art of the problem interview comes.
Like the problem interview. What's that?
It's basically a tool for really uncovering your customer's needs and ensuring your product provides genuine value.
Sounds like a deep dive into the customer's world.
It is. And the book actually outlines a specific structure for this interview.
Oh, interesting, like a step-by-step guide.
Yeah, and it starts with a clear and concise introduction where you briefly explain who you are and why you're reaching out.
So you're not going in for the hard sell right away.
No, you're genuinely seeking their expert opinion.
Makes sense. Build that rapport first.
Right. And then you move into profiling.
Profiling. Like in a detective movie?
Well, not quite, but it is about asking targeted questions to confirm whether this person truly fits your ideal customer profile.
So you're making sure you're talking to the right person for your solution.
Exactly. The book gives these simple but effective examples like, do you have children? How often do they get sick?
Simple but effective.
Exactly. And once you've confirmed you're talking to the right person, you dive deeper into what the author calls problem actualization.
Problem actualization.
It's basically where you really start to understand their activities, their goals, and the obstacles they face in achieving those goals.
So you're uncovering the real pain point.
Exactly. And then, get this, you help them quantify the problem.
Quantify. You mean put a number on it.
Exactly. Ideally in terms of money.
So they can see the real cost of not solving the problem.
The book tells a story about a company that helped a client realize they were losing a staggering 300,000 rubles per day because of inefficiencies in their system.
Wow, that's a number that gets your attention.
Right. It makes them realize the potential impact your solution could have.
So then you can move on to actually presenting your solution.
Exactly. The author calls this solution validation, where you explain how your product can help them achieve their desired outcome.
And then you close the deal.
Well, not so fast. You need a strong call to action.
Ah, so something that encourages them to take the next step.
Exactly. Whether it's setting up a follow-up meeting or sending them additional information, you need to create a sense of urgency and a clear next step.
So it's not just about ending the conversation, it's about guiding them towards the next stage.
Exactly. But the book emphasizes that closing a sale isn't the finish line.
There's more.
There's more. It stresses the importance of what he calls value control.
Value control, what does that mean?
It means making sure your customers are actually getting the value you promised.
So it's about taking responsibility for the customer's success with your product.
Right. It might mean setting clear expectations up front, providing ongoing support and guidance, or even being willing to adapt your product based on customer feedback.
So it's a continuous process, not a one-time transaction.
Exactly. There's this interesting story in the book about an app designed for virtual reality apartment tours.
Oh, cool. So people could walk through an apartment without actually being there.
Yeah. But the developers initially assumed that the amazing visuals would be the main selling point.
Makes sense. VR is pretty impressive.
But it turned out that the real value for real estate agents was how the app helped them close deals more effectively.
So the visuals were cool, but the real benefit was something they hadn't even anticipated.
Exactly. Which brings us back to the importance of really understanding what your customers need.
And being willing to adapt accordingly.
Right. Now, once you've built a product that delivers real value, and you're actively ensuring your customers are experiencing that value, what's next?
Good question. What does the book say?
The book introduces this concept of ABC customer segmentation.
ABC customer segmentation. Okay, you're going to have to break that down for me.
I will.
Yeah.
It's basically about understanding that not all customers are created equal.
Some are more valuable than others.
Exactly. Some are more profitable, some are a better fit for your product, and the book breaks it down into these A, B, and C categories.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these A, B, and C customers.
Your A customers, those are your VIPs.
The rock stars.
Exactly. They get the most value from your product, they're highly profitable, and they're likely to become loyal, repeat customers.
So those are the ones you really want to focus on.
Absolutely. Then you have your B customers.
Okay, so what makes them different?
They have potential. They could become profitable, but they might require some tweaks to your product or a little extra effort to get them fully on board.
Gotcha, so they're like works in progress.
Kind of, yeah. And then you have your C customers.
And those are the ones you want to avoid.
Well, they're the ones who drain your resources without providing much return.
Ah, I see. The ones who take up a lot of time and energy but don't really contribute much to the bottom line.
Exactly. So the book suggests that you focus on those A-list customers.
And even within the A's, he suggests you zero in on your A1 and A2 customers, right?
Yes. Those are the most profitable within the A category, and this laser focus can be the key to achieving rapid growth and profitability, especially when you're just starting out.
Makes sense. Prioritize the ones who will bring you the most value.
He actually shares a story about an entrepreneur who found major success by focusing solely on his A customers, even though it meant turning down other seemingly lucrative opportunities.
Wow, that's a powerful reminder that saying no can be just as valuable as saying yes.
It is. It's about prioritizing the customers who will bring you the most value and focusing your energy on building strong relationships with them.
So you've got a great product, you know your ideal customer, and you're ready to scale. How do you actually reach those A-list customers consistently?
Well, that's where the book dives into the importance of having a well-defined sales process.
A sales process.
Think of it as a roadmap for your sales team.
Okay, so it outlines the steps involved in moving a potential customer towards making a purchase.
Exactly. It ensures that everyone is on the same page and you're not missing any critical steps.
Makes sense. So what are the stages? Where does this roadmap begin?
It all starts with prospecting.
Prospecting.
It's about finding potential customers.
So that could involve attending industry events, networking online, or even, dare I say it, cold calling.
All of the above.
Hmm.
And then you use those problem interview questions we talked about earlier to qualify those leads.
Right. Making sure they actually fit your target customer profile.
Exactly. You don't want to waste time on leads that aren't a good fit.
And once you've qualified a lead, what's next?
Then you move into what the author calls the qualification stage, where you assess their readiness to buy and their understanding of the problem and your solution.
So you're making sure it's a good match on both sides.
Exactly. And then you move into negotiation and agreement, where you finalize the terms of the deal.
And finally, closing, where you secure the customer's commitment.
You got it.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty straightforward, but the author emphasizes the importance of what he calls deal control.
Deal control.
It's about actively managing each deal, ensuring progress, and addressing any roadblocks.
So you're not just passively waiting for the sale to happen, you're guiding it along.
Exactly. You're building a relationship, addressing concerns, making sure things are moving forward.
It's a very hands-on approach.
It is. And you also need to understand how your customers make decisions.
Their decision-making process.
Yeah. What are the typical steps they take before making a purchase? What are their potential objections?
So you can anticipate those concerns and address them proactively.
Exactly. It's like creating a psychological profile of your ideal customer.
Interesting. So you're not just selling to them, you're understanding their thought process.
Right. And of course, you need a well-trained sales team who can effectively communicate the value proposition and walk those customers through the process.
Your salespeople are your front line, right? They need to be able to represent your product effectively.
Absolutely. Now, to keep track of all this, the author introduces a visual tool called the traction map.
A traction map.
Yeah, it's a fantastic way to visualize your progress towards building a scalable business.
I like visuals. Tell me more.
It outlines two main stages: finding value and working in channels.
Okay, break those down for me.
Finding value is all about laying the foundation.
So defining your target customer segments, validating their problems, building an MVP, and achieving those first crucial sales.
You got it. It's all about proving your concept, finding that product market fit.
And once you have that initial traction, you move into working in channels.
Exactly. This is where you focus on scaling your business.
So you're testing various channels like cold calls, content marketing, partnerships, and building out your sales tools to drive sustainable growth.
Exactly. You're diversifying your approach and finding the most effective ways to reach your target audience.
But it sounds like it could be easy to get overwhelmed trying to do too many things at once.
You're right. And the author emphasizes that you need to focus on one channel at a time.
Master it before moving on to the next, right?
Exactly. Don't spread yourself too thin.
Focus, focus, focus.
That's the key. Now, we've talked about finding the right customers, having a solid sales process, and exploring different channels.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. But how do you know if all of this is actually working? How do you measure the financial health of your business?
That's a good question. What metrics should we be looking at?
That's where the book dives into the concept of unit economics.
Unit economics.
It's about understanding the profitability of each individual customer acquisition.
So it's not just about overall revenue, it's about understanding the cost and profit associated with each customer.
Exactly. We're talking about key metrics like cost per user.
Cost per user. What's that?
It's basically how much it costs you to acquire a new customer.
Oh, I see. So if you spend $100 on advertising and you get 10 new customers, your cost per user is $10.
Exactly. And then you have average margin per paying user.
What does that tell us?
It's the profit you make from each paying customer.
So if a customer spends $50 on your product and it costs you $20 to produce and deliver it, your margin is $30.
Right. And then there's conversion rate.
That's the percentage of people who actually make a purchase, right?
Exactly. So by understanding these metrics, you can see how much it actually costs to acquire a customer, how much profit you make from each sale, and how efficiently you're converting leads into paying customers.
That's a lot of valuable information.
It is. Now, before we move on, I want to touch on one of the most intriguing concepts in the book.
Okay, lay it on me.
It's this question: Chobi Kato, which basically means, so what?
So what? That's it.
It sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It forces you to think beyond the immediate tasks and consider the bigger picture.
So it's like a reality check for entrepreneurs.
Exactly. It makes you pause and really consider if you're focusing on the right things.
I can see how that would be valuable. You can get so caught up in the day-to-day that you lose sight of the bigger picture.
Exactly. And the author suggests that entrepreneurs ask themselves this question regularly.
Chobichuto.
Exactly. It can help you clarify your goals, identify any blind spots, and ensure that you're not just working hard, but working smart.
I like it. Simple but effective.
It is. It's a powerful tool for self-reflection and staying on track.
It's like a mantra for entrepreneurs.
It is. And we'll be diving deeper into this and other valuable concepts in the next part of our deep dive.
I'm looking forward to it. This book is full of great insights.
It is. So stay tuned for part 2, where we'll explore even more of focus and uncover even more actionable advice for building a truly scalable business.
Can't wait. Ready to keep digging into focus.
Oh, absolutely. I'm hooked on these Russian business insights.
Me too. It's fascinating to see how these concepts, while from a different culture, really apply universally.
Totally. And one thing that stuck with me from the first part was that emphasis on truly understanding the customer's problem.
Right, like before you even start building a product.
Exactly. It's about finding a need, not just inventing a solution and hoping it sticks.
So true. So many entrepreneurs get caught up in their own ideas.
And they think they know what the...
Where that manual MVP comes in.
Yeah. Testing your hypothesis in the simplest way possible.
Just to see if your solution actually resonates with customers.
2 sheets of paper. That's all you need for the initial MVP, according to the book.
2 sheets of paper.
Yeah. One to outline the problem, one to outline the solution. No fancy app, no website, just getting that core idea out there.
I love that. It's a reminder that you don't need a fully developed product to validate your idea.
Exactly. And then once you've validated that core idea, the book emphasizes focusing on a single customer segment.
Especially in those early stages, right?
Exactly. Narrow your focus to maximize your impact.
And that's where that ABC customer segmentation comes in handy.
Right. Prioritize those A customers, the ones who are most likely to benefit from your product.
Laser focus, not a floodlight.
Exactly. Now, the book also uses this great analogy to describe the sales process. A pipeline.
A pipeline.
Yeah, imagine a pipeline with different stages, and each stage represents a critical step in moving a potential customer towards making a purchase.
So it's like a system, a flow.
Exactly. And it's crucial to understand the specific goals of each stage.
And the criteria for moving a customer to the next step, right?
It's not just about hoping for the best, it's about having a defined roadmap.
A clear path to follow.
Now, speaking of paths, the book also talks about the importance of identifying your bottleneck.
Bottleneck.
Yeah, they use the Russian term, ooh.
Bottleneck. Bottleneck. Got it.
It's about finding that weak link in your business.
The thing that's slowing you down.
Exactly. And it could be anything. A lack of qualified leads, a clunky sales process, a product that isn't quite hitting the mark.
So constantly evaluating your progress, pinpointing those areas where things are slowing down.
And then focusing your energy on resolving those bottlenecks.
It's like a continuous improvement process.
Exactly. Always looking for ways to optimize and streamline.
Okay, I'm getting this. Now, what about that traction map we talked about earlier?
Oh, yeah. That visual tool is a great way to track your progress toward building a scalable business.
I love a good visual.
And remember, it outlines those 2 main stages, finding value and working in channels.
Okay, remind me what happens in finding value.
That's where you're laying the foundation, defining your target customer, validating their problems, building that MVP.
And getting those first sales, right?
Those are crucial. It's all about proving your concept, finding that product market fit.
That sweet spot where your solution meets a real need.
Exactly. And once you've found that value, you move into working in channels.
Scaling time.
Exactly. Testing different channels, cold calling, content marketing, partnerships.
Finding what works best for you.
Exactly. And remember, focus is key.
Don't try to do everything at once.
One channel at a time, master it, then move on to the next.
Strategic scaling. I like it.
And all the while, keep an eye out for those bottlenecks.
Those pesky obstacles.
Address them head on. Keep that momentum going.
Got it. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about those unit economics.
Yes, the financial health of your business.
Knowing your numbers, right?
Inside and out.
Yeah.
It's not just about overall revenue, it's about understanding the cost and profit associated with each customer.
So those key metrics we talked about, cost per user, average margin per paying user, conversion rate.
Those are the ones. They tell the story of your business's profitability.
It's like a financial x-ray revealing what's working and what needs attention.
Exactly. And by understanding these metrics, you can make data-driven decisions.
No more guessing games.
Right. Optimize your pricing, your marketing, boost that bottom line.
Smart moves. And the book actually provides clear formulas and examples for calculating these metrics.
Yeah. So no excuses for not knowing your numbers.
Okay, good stuff. Now let's circle back to that Chitobi Chodo question.
Oh, I love that question. It's so simple, yet so powerful.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. It challenges you to dig deeper, question your assumptions.
Making sure your efforts are aligned with your goals.
The author uses it to help entrepreneurs clarify those goals, identify blind spots, make better decisions.
And ultimately take ownership of their actions and results.
Yeah, it's like a mantra for staying on track.
I'm adding it to my vocabulary.
Me too. Now, the book also introduces this concept of tracking.
Tracking, like with a GPS.
Not exactly. It's about working with a business coach or tracker.
Someone to guide you through the challenges of building and scaling your business.
Yeah, someone who's been there, done that.
A mentor, a guide.
The book actually describes them as having a wimyosta.
Are you a mistake?
It means they have a wealth of experience. They've seen a lot of businesses succeed and fail.
So they bring that valuable perspective to the table.
Exactly. They can help you avoid common pitfalls, make smarter decisions.
They're not there to tell you what to do, though, right?
No, they're there to challenge your thinking, ask tough questions.
Help you see things from a fresh perspective.
It's like having a personal trainer for your business.
Pushing you to stay focused, disciplined.
And a key part of working with a tracker is participating in a diagnostic session.
What happens in a diagnostic session?
It's a deep dive into the current state of your business.
So examining your target market, your sales process, your financials.
It's like a full-body checkup for your business.
Identifying strengths and weaknesses.
And the goal is to uncover those key areas where you're excelling, pinpoint areas for improvement.
And identify those obstacles that are holding you back.
It's about getting a clear, objective assessment of where you stand.
Facing reality, even if it's not always pretty.
But by acknowledging those weaknesses, you can start addressing them.
That's the power of the diagnostic session.
Exactly. And once you've identified those areas for improvement, the book emphasizes regular traction meetings with your tracker.
To review progress, make adjustments, stay on track.
Accountability and forward momentum.
Gotta keep moving.
Right. Now, another key theme that runs throughout the book is the importance of understanding and communicating the value you provide.
Moving away from that hard sell, building relationships.
Based on trust, transparency, and a deep understanding of the customer's needs.
You're not just selling a product, you're offering a solution.
A solution that makes a difference.
And when you can clearly articulate that value, the sales process becomes smoother.
You're not pushing, you're partnering.
A trusted advisor.
Exactly. And that leads to stronger relationships, more loyalty.
And ultimately, greater success.
The book also offers practical advice on how to identify and communicate your value proposition.
Crafting that compelling narrative.
Showcasing those unique benefits.
But remember, value is subjective, right?
It is. It's about how your customers perceive the value you provide.
So understanding their perspective, tailoring your message accordingly.
Stepping into their shoes.
And seeing things through their eyes.
Now, to ensure you're delivering on those value promises, the book emphasizes value control.
Going beyond the initial sale.
It's about follow-up, support, ongoing engagement.
Making sure your customers are successful.
Creating a customer-centric culture.
Always striving to exceed expectations.
The book even suggests setting clear expectations, establishing metrics for success, providing ongoing support.
And being willing to adapt based on feedback.
Flexibility and responsiveness are key.
Yeah.
Now, one of the most important takeaways of the book is this emphasis on taking ownership.
Of your actions and results.
No more excuses, no blaming external factors.
Focus on what you can control.
Embrace that chobi jolo mindset.
Question your assumptions. Find those hidden constraints.
Take proactive steps to overcome those challenges.
It's a call to action.
Step up, take charge, drive your own success.
And the book gives you the tools to do it.
The traction map, the problem interview, the unit economics analysis.
It's all about empowerment.
Giving you the tools and the confidence to take control.
Now, the author also emphasizes that entrepreneurship isn't a solo journey.
Build a strong team, foster collaboration.
Surround yourself with people who share your vision.
People who challenge you, complement your skills.
A team that's greater than the sum of its parts.
The book even offers insights on building a high-performing team, delegating effectively, creating a culture of trust.
It's about recognizing that you don't have to do everything yourself.
Leverage the strengths of others, achieve more together.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Exactly. And as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to touch on the importance of perseverance.
The entrepreneurial journey is rarely a straight line to success.
There will be challenges, setbacks, moments of doubt.
But the book reminds us that it's through those challenges that we learn and grow.
Embrace the ups and downs. Those setbacks are often opportunities for learning.
Never give up on your dreams. Keep pushing forward.
It's about having that grit, that determination.
And that unwavering belief in yourself.
So before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, I want to ask you, the listener, what's resonating with you so far?
What's one action you can take today to apply these concepts?
You know, it's really inspiring to hear about all these tools and strategies for entrepreneurial success.
It is, but it's also important to remember that it's a marathon, not a sprint.
So true. It's about staying focused, adapting to those inevitable challenges, and never giving up on your vision.
And focus really equips entrepreneurs with the right mindset and tools to navigate those challenges.
It's not just about achieving success, it's about building a sustainable business for the long haul.
Right, one that can weather the storms.
And one of the tools that really stood out to me was this concept of the tree of current reality.
The tree of current reality? What's that?
It's a visual framework for mapping out the current state of your business.
Okay, I like visuals.
You identify those undesirable outcomes and trace them back to their root causes.
So it's like a problem-solving technique.
Exactly. It encourages you to think systematically instead of just reacting to problems as they pop up.
You're digging deeper to understand the underlying causes, right? Connecting the dots.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion.
I get it. Get to the core of the issue.
And by understanding those root causes, you can develop targeted solutions.
Address the problem at its source.
Be proactive, not reactive.
Take control. Shape your own destiny.
Now, we've talked a lot about understanding customer problems and developing solutions.
Providing real value.
Right. But the book also acknowledges that sometimes your product might not be the best fit for every potential customer.
And that's okay, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It's actually a sign of integrity.
You're not just trying to make a sale. You're genuinely trying to help.
If your solution isn't the right fit, acknowledge it. Maybe even recommend an alternative.
Rather than forcing a sale that won't benefit anyone.
Exactly. It's about building trust and credibility.
Putting the customer's needs first.
Even if it means losing a potential sale in the short term.
It's about the long game.
Building those lasting relationships.
Based on mutual respect and value.
You're a partner, not just a vendor.
Now, one thing I really appreciate about this book is its emphasis on practical advice.
Actionable steps you can take.
Not just theory, it's a roadmap.
Clear steps, formulas, examples.
Things you can implement right away.
It's about empowering entrepreneurs.
Giving them the tools and the confidence to succeed.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into focus, I want to leave you with this final thought.
Hit us with it.
What's your version of Toby Chodo?
What are you truly working towards?
Are your actions aligned with your goals?
Take some time to reflect on those questions.
Challenge your assumptions. Examine your motivations.
Focus your energy on what truly matters.
The journey of entrepreneurship is full of challenges.
But it's also incredibly rewarding.
And by embracing the principles in focus,
You can navigate those challenges with more clarity, confidence.
and ultimately achieve the success you desire.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We hope you found it valuable and insightful.
Until next time.
Keep focusing on what matters.